All right, so we're back for section 2. So we're going to go through how do you actually start scraping. So we do assume that you have to have a little bit of Python knowledge here. So you do need to have some coding knowledge, but we will go through how to code it from scratch. So I've got a brand new script here. I use PyCharm in Darkular mode. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to say I want to start scraping. We're going to use BS4 here because it's quite easy to see how BS4 works with websites, because you can just right-click inspect, and we like that. And we don't want to use anything like Selenium, which is a lot more advanced, but it gives you a lot more flexibility around what you can do and how you can interact with websites and how you can deal with JavaScript. But that's for a different session. So we'll start with this. So let's create a new Python file. So we'll just call it FabArmory. So the things you will have to start off with, you need to import all the libraries that you want. So the beautiful thing about PyCharm, and actually a lot of things, is you can start typing something and then it will give you the options that you might want to choose. So here's beautiful soup. And then we generally want to just define everything into functions, just like this. And ideally, you don't want to have anything that's not in a function unless you want to run that and set that as something that's global. So we're just going to go ahead and put everything that we're scraping into this function. So we're going to pass through a URL. The URL will look something like this. It was similar to what we showed just then. So this is FabArmory's URL to get to this page. And what we want to get from this page is the current price, which is $150, the currency, which is in New Zealand dollars up here. And you can't actually see this, but the quantity is in here. So if, I don't know how many people know this, but if you right click and click inspect, you can actually find the price in here. And so this actually outlines how a website's designed and all of its properties. So we can actually look for something like inventory. And you can see in here that they actually have one in stock. And that's what we're trying to get to. And you can't see that in here. They won't say, oh, we have one in stock. But if you click 6 and add to cart, it's not going to allow you to add 6. But if you click 1, it will allow you to add 1. So yeah, there are juicy nuggets hidden inside the actual website's details that you can't see just on the web page itself. So they're the things that we want to try and get. Note that not all websites will allow you to do that, but we'll see what we can do with these ones. So the first thing is we want to connect to that website and get the details. Then we want to convert that into a nicely readable object called a soup from beautiful soup. And then we just want to find a whole bunch of these elements. So I've already gone through and done this. So we're going to do some error handling to start with. So this just means we want to make sure that the website isn't returning something blank, i.e. it can't find this particular URL. And then if that's the case, then try finding public API endpoint or event private API using I haven't tried that. Let me know what that does. Product single meta. So here we're just trying to find all the meta details for that single card. And then we're going to find the item sale price. And we're just going to replace all the dollar symbols because we don't really want that. And we're going to remove any kind of lead and trailing spaces and new lines and things like that. And now we have to actually do some string work, because the way we actually find the inventory was not obvious. So we're looking for this particular thing in the string, and then we're effectively just trying to get just the inventory component. I don't know if you remember, but we had we have one in stock. That's what we're looking for in here. And that's what we're trying to get from this string. So we can then still pass this string in as a soup, which is awesome. And then it still gives you all of the, oh, I think Yarn's gone, but she'll be back soon. So yeah, we can still pass everything through a string through a soup, and then it gives you all the properties that you could get from Beautiful Soup. But I think in this case, we probably don't need it. We're just looking for new lines here. And then we're just going to do a bunch of replaces. So we don't need the we have stuff. And then we don't need the in stock. And then we'll get rid of all that spacing. So if we find that the inventory is blank, then we'll just set to 0. And now we have everything we need. So we're just going to return a dictionary. So that's the inventory. That's a price. And that's the currency. Let me just hang up here and wait for Kian to get back. Actually, I hope it's not me. I think I can still see my screen moving, so I think I'm okay. So we'll keep going. We'll wait for Kian. Yeah, thanks, man. So in the event where you can't find the web page where it does return 404 none, then 404 not found, then we're just going to return none. So we didn't find anything. Now we're just going to test this. So we're going to let's run it on the Enlightened Strike, shall we? So let's grab that URL. So this bad boy here. So we just copy that URL in here, and then we're just going to print Fab Armory. So we're just going to do something like this. I would highly recommend you always put anything you're testing, even your main function, inside here and not down here, and not just anywhere in the code, because that way you can, firstly, the variables won't be global. So you can't accidentally access this variable URL somewhere else in here, and you suddenly find that you have URL somewhere else in a different package somewhere, that you've imported. And this way, it just makes sure that it's a lot cleaner and you won't run into like other issues potentially. So we're just going to run this. HTML parser, we did run into an error. Let's just check that. Where did we error here? I think it's .parser. That's what we're looking for. Cool. Cool. So now you can see that currently the inventory is actually 0. The price is $149.99 in New Zealand dollars. So this is exactly what we should expect, I think. And hopefully, I don't know if this is going to work, but if we go to our cart and then we remove this from cart, wow, you actually get a discount today. 2 years young. Awesome. That's actually quite a good price. So I'm going to remove that from cart. Kiana's just calling back, so let's grab her back in. KYT. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, welcome back.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So we just removed that from cart. Hopefully that means now we have 1 inventory. So we're just going to run this again and see if that's true. Not quite there yet. It probably takes a little bit of time for them to update in the website. Or maybe I need to close the session or something. So let me try do that. I'll click it again. We shall inspect. It does still say 1 in stock, so we are hoping that we do find this. And I might just double check my code, make sure that I haven't created any errors here. Okay, so we just do some checks here. We can try print out S and see what this says. So that's blank. So that's why we're getting the errors. So S start. I wonder if there's a typo somewhere. So we'll print this. Okay, so that is returning. Okay, I see. So this is supposed to be from here to the end. And now when we print this, we are still at 0, which is interesting. So we can print S start. We'll just print S full. And we'll remove them at some point. So do this as well. So we can see that this is everything that we need. And we want to see we have. So we can see that there is this we have 1 in stock here. That's kind of what we want to grab. So we want to check that the div ID variant hyphen inventory class. I've got too many spaces. Cool. So now we can see that the inventory is 1. So I can get rid of all this, all these print statements. We're looking good. And there we go. 149.99. Awesome. We're just going to do another check. So let's randomly pick an alpha print. Let's print let's get this tunic. This is you are seeing it right. It is a $12,000 card. That's how much some of these cards do go for. I think this is not even the rarest one, so there are some out there that are more expensive than this. I know, right? It's crazy. And it's a new game as well, so I'm surprised that they're priced this much. So you can see $12,500 New Zealand, and the inventory is 1. I am very curious to see whether or not you get 25% off this, so I am just going to add this to cart and check out. Hey, that's a pretty big saving. I do have to say, saving close to $2,000 is pretty cool. But we're not here for that. We are now comfortable that our web scraper is working, and now you just have to iterate through all the cards, and you'll be able to get you'll be able to get a price for every single card, which is awesome. So I'm just gonna stop the recording there.